The rain poured heavily outside as Grace sat quietly in the corner of their old wooden house. The walls leaked in several places. The wind howled. The only sound inside was the crackling of the small fire she had started to keep warm. She wrapped her arms around her knees, listening to her stomach growl. She was hungry again. It had become a normal thing. Her stepmother, Agatha, had refused to give her dinner. Again. "Why should I feed a girl that brings me nothing but problems?" Agatha had snapped earlier. "But I was just asking if I could eat," Grace had whispered. "You're always asking, always begging. Go to sleep, ungrateful child," Agatha yelled. Now, Grace wiped silent tears from her cheeks. She was used to sleeping hungry, used to being yelled at, used to being blamed for everything that went wrong. She had lost her mother when she was only 2. Then her father remarried. And by the time she turned 14, he too was gone. Agatha was all she had left. And Agatha made her feel like she was nothing. Every morning, Agatha would wake Grace at dawn. "Get up. You're not sleeping your life away here. Take this basket and go sell these fruits. Don't come back until you've sold everything." "But today is school," Grace tried to protest one day. "School?" Agatha hissed. "Will school bring money to this house? You better sell every fruit in that basket or don't come back." Grace walked the streets barefoot, dodging honking cars and angry bus drivers. She would smile and beg people to buy. Her feet ached. Her voice cracked. Some days, she came home with only a few coins. Agatha would beat her and throw her plate of food away. One day, as she crossed a busy road, carrying her basket, a car came out of nowhere. Screams followed. Horns blared. The impact was sharp. Grace's world turned black. She woke up in a hospital bed. Her legs were wrapped in bandages. Her arm was in a cast. "Where is my mother?" Grace asked the nurse. "There's no one here for you, dear," the nurse said gently. "You've been here 2 days. No one came." Grace cried quietly, not because of the pain in her body, but because of the pain in her heart. That same afternoon, a man in his 30s walked into her ward. He had kind eyes and a soft voice. "I saw you by the roadside. I followed the ambulance here. I don't know you, but I felt led to help," he said. "Thank you," Grace whispered, tears rolling down her face. He paid her bills, bought her new clothes, and even gave her money to take care of herself. His name was Michael. He never asked for anything in return. But when Agatha found out, her eyes lit up like fire. "If a stranger is willing to pay so much for this girl," she muttered to herself, "then imagine what a rich man would pay to marry her." From that moment, she began plotting. Years passed. Grace turned 21. She was more beautiful than ever. Her soft brown skin glowed, her eyes still gentle despite all she had faced. She had the kind of beauty that turned heads, even when she walked with her head down. That's when Agatha heard about a certain blind man named Oliver. Word in town was that he was looking for a maid, or maybe even a wife, to help take care of him. Agatha rushed over immediately. She met Oliver in his modest apartment. He wore dark glasses and sat quietly, listening as Agatha spoke. "I have the perfect girl for you," Agatha said with fake excitement. "She's kind, quiet, hardworking, and very beautiful." Oliver didn't speak immediately. He took a deep breath. "I can't offer much," he said. "I'm poor and blind." "Oh, that's not a problem," Agatha smiled. "I'll accept whatever you can pay. Just take her off my hands." They agreed, and Agatha went home that night laughing. When Grace heard about it, she cried all night. You're selling me like an object, she sobbed. If you refuse, Agatha snarled, I'll do something you won't recover from. You hear me? Grace had no choice. The next morning, she packed her small bag, and Oliver came and got her. Agatha's friends were at the gate, laughing. Goodbye, pretty princess. Go serve your blind husband, they mocked. Grace kept her head down. Her heart was breaking. She didn't even know what it will be like to live with Oliver. All she knew was she had to survive. When they arrived at Oliver's apartment, she was surprised. It was small, but clean. Oliver welcomed her gently. Welcome to my home, he said softly. Thank you, sir, she replied quietly. No need for sir, he smiled. Just Oliver is fine. Please feel at home and don't hesitate to let me know if you need anything. This is your home too. Grace nodded. She didn't know what to expect. She didn't know what kind of man Oliver is, but she was determined to have an open mind. Dear amazing viewers, what do you think Grace's experience will be like living with Oliver? Please keep watching to find out. Before I continue, I would like to ask you to kindly subscribe to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click on the subscribe button. Much appreciation. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much. Now, back to the story. The first few days were awkward. Grace cooked, cleaned, and helped Oliver around the house. They didn't talk much. He was always so quiet. But he listened. He noticed the little things. How she hummed while sweeping. How she cried softly at night, but wiped her tears before morning. One evening, she was cooking, and the aroma filled the apartment. This smells like heaven, Oliver said from the living room. Grace laughed. It's just yam porridge. No, Oliver said. It smells like peace. That night, they talked. Really talked. She told him about her mother, her father, the hunger, the beatings, the dreams she had buried. I used to dream of being a teacher, she said. But now, I don't dream anymore. Oliver was silent. Then he said, You should never stop dreaming. From that day, their bond grew stronger. They ate meals together, laughed, talked late into the night. One afternoon, while sitting in the living room, Oliver turned to her. Grace, he said, I know I'm poor and blind, but I've fallen in love with you. She looked up, shocked. I love you too, she whispered. I don't care that you're blind. You're the kindest man I've ever met. Oliver smiled. Thank you, he said, but there's something I must tell you. Grace looked confused. I'll be going on a short trip tomorrow, he said, but someone will come get you in a few days. Can't I come with you? She asked. Number, I need to go alone this time, he insisted. 2 days later, a driver came to pick her up. She carried her small bag and followed. But when they reached the gate of the mansion, her jaw dropped. The house was huge. White pillars, glass doors, expensive cars. Where am I? She whispered. The driver only smiled and led her in. Then Oliver appeared, without his sunglasses, dressed in a designer suit. Welcome home, Grace, he said. Grace gasped. You can see? Yes, Oliver smiled. I was never blind. Her knees shook. You're rich? I'm a billionaire, he said, but I had to find true love. I had to know if someone would love me for me, not my money. And you passed the test. Grace fell to her knees in tears. I don't care about money, she whispered. I just love you. Oliver lifted her up and hugged her tightly. I know, he said, and now I want to give you the life you've always deserved. They got married in a quiet ceremony, just a few close friends. No big party, just love. Grace never forgot where she came from. She returned to her old neighborhood and built a center for orphans and poor girls. She called it Hope's Home. Then one morning, Agatha appeared at the gates, wearing torn clothes and looking older than her age. "Grace," she said, falling to her knees, "please forgive me. I was wrong. I was greedy. I was wicked." Grace stood still. Her heart beat fast. "Why should I forgive you?" she asked. "Because you still have a good heart," Agatha cried, "and I don't have anyone else. I want to change. Please let me in." Grace turned to Oliver. He gave a gentle nod. "Come in," she said, "but don't hurt me again." Agatha hugged her and wept like a baby. She began helping around the house, cooking, cleaning, taking care of Grace when she was pregnant. She even became a doting grandmother when the children came. Years passed. Grace's life became a story people whispered about with awe. From the poor, barefoot girl who sold fruits on the roadside, to the elegant, confident woman who now owned multiple businesses, Grace became a symbol of hope to many young girls who had once felt voiceless. She didn't just become rich, she became kind and rich. She didn't just find love, she found someone who saw her worth, even when she didn't see it herself. Oliver supported her in everything she did. He wasn't just a billionaire, he was a gentle soul with a heart that matched Grace's. They had 2 beautiful children, and Agatha, now older and humbler, played with them every day like her own life depended on it. Gone was the bitter woman who once starved a child. What remained was a grandmother who sang lullabies, told bedtime stories, and asked for nothing but love in return. One day, Oliver walked into the living room, holding a big envelope. "Grace," he said, "I have a surprise." She looked up from feeding their baby boy. "What now?" she teased. "Another house? You've already bought me an island last month." Oliver laughed. "Number, this is bigger." He handed her the envelope. Inside, it was an invitation letter from the Global Women's Impact Awards. Grace's eyes widened as she read. "They're honoring me." "Yes," Oliver smiled. "You built something amazing. Hundreds of girls now have education, food, a place to sleep because of you." Grace's eyes filled with tears. "I just wanted to make sure no girl ever feels how I once felt," she whispered. That weekend, they all dressed in beautiful clothes. Agatha, now glowing in a purple lace wrapper and a matching head tie, walked beside Grace like a proud mother. The event was packed. Influential people, cameras, applause. When it was time for Grace to give her speech, she stood before the crowd, hands shaking, heart pounding. She took a deep breath. "There was a time I thought my life had no meaning," she began. "I thought my story was pain and rejection, but I was wrong." She looked toward Oliver. He nodded with encouragement. "Sometimes, life puts us in dark places, not to break us, but to build us. I was once treated like I was nothing, but I learned that you can rise above hate with love." She turned to Agatha, who had tears in her eyes. "This woman," Grace continued, "was once the reason I cried myself to sleep. But today, she's my mother. My children call her grandma, and I forgave her because I didn't want to carry bitterness into my future." The hall was quiet. Then someone clapped, then another, and soon, a standing ovation. After the ceremony, reporters asked Grace what her secret to success was. She smiled. I didn't let pain turn my heart to stone. I used it to build a foundation. My story isn't about revenge. It's about redemption. Later that night, as they returned to their mansion, Grace stood on the balcony, looking out into the night sky. Oliver joined her, wrapping his arms around her waist. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. Grace sighed. "I'm just thankful for the pain, for the journey, even for Agatha." Oliver smiled. "She did bring you to me, even if she didn't know it." Grace laughed softly. "Yes, and she taught me something." "What's that?" "That broken people often break others until they're shown love." Oliver kissed her forehead. "You've changed all our lives, Grace, including mine." In the days that followed, Grace's story spread across blogs, newspapers, and social media. Young girls wrote her letters. Mothers told their daughters about her. And every time someone asked her how she survived all she went through, she would simply say, "I didn't let my pain define me. I turned it into purpose." Life lesson. No matter how broken your past is, you can still build a beautiful future. Don't let the cruelty of others harden your heart. Use every scar, every tear, every pain as a lesson, not a prison. Grace did not allow hate to swallow her light. She turned bitterness into forgiveness, rejection into love, and poverty into legacy. In the end, Grace didn't just marry a billionaire, she became a priceless woman. And together, with Oliver, their children, and even Agatha, they lived not just happily ever after, but purposefully ever after. Before you watch the next video, kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Please click on the subscribe button and like this video. Be a part of my channel's growth by clicking on the next video on the screen and drop a comment to let me know what you think about the story. Thank you for watching. Much appreciation. Thank you for watching. Much appreciation.